now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Give in to temptation and pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback and e-readers today. Fast and Furious star Vin Diesel is being sued for allegedly assaulting his former assistant in 2010.
Fast and Furious star Vin Diesel is being sued for alleged sexual battery by a former assistant. Asa Jonasson filing the lawsuit in LA County Superior Court today. It alleges that Diesel forced himself on her in his hotel suite. It allegedly happened back in 2010 while she worked for him during the filming of Fast 5 in Atlanta. Jonasson claims the actor groped her and pinned her against a wall before pleasuring himself, all while she allegedly refused. The suit claims hours after the incident, Jonasson was fired. We reached out to Diesel's reps, but they did not give us an official comment.
Now, according to reports, Asa Jonasson, Vin Diesel's former assistant, alleges that Vin Diesel allegedly forcibly grabbed her, groped her breast, and kissed her in a hotel suite in Atlanta while he was filming Fast 5 in the Fast and Furious series. And as Vin Diesel was allegedly grabbing her, groping her breast, and kissing her in this hotel suite in Atlanta, Asa Jonasson says that she rejected Vin Diesel's advances, and after rejecting Vin Diesel's advances, Vin Diesel allegedly fired her from his production team as part of his One Race Productions. And Asa Jonasson says that because Vin Diesel allegedly sexually assaulted her in 2010, she is now filing this civil lawsuit in 2023 alleging discrimination and wrongful termination for this alleged assault that took place back in 2010. Now, I don't really know who to believe as related to this alleged assault that took place in 2010. But I just find this entire situation to be quite troubling because it's the kind of situation I tell men to avoid in my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace. Now, in my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, I tell men not to be in any place with a woman alone because it creates a he said, she said situation. And in that he said, she said situation, that woman can go out here and have it create a situation where it's your word against hers. And in the gynocentric criminal justice system, they can go out here and use that to go out here and get a conviction in criminal court or go out here and get a judgment in civil court. And that's why a man needs to go out here and make sure that he has somebody with him, even if he has an assistant like Vin Diesel had. Now, Vin Diesel had this woman to be an assistant to make it look like he was out here having a woman with him. But maybe that wasn't very smart because this very same assistant is now making an allegation against him in civil court. And that's where I start to see some credibility issues as related to this entire lawsuit. Now, I see some credibility issues as related to this entire lawsuit because what Asa Jonasson is alleging happened with her and Vin Diesel is clearly a possible case of sexual assault. And you would think if a possible case of sexual assault, this woman back in 2010 would have been going to law enforcement to file a police report and criminal charges against Vin Diesel. Moreover, you would think she would have filed a wrongful termination lawsuit way back in 2010 if this was the reason for her winding up getting fired from her job. You would think that Asa Jonasson would have quickly filed these lawsuits as related to criminal and civil charges against Vin Diesel back in 2010 and not wait until 2023, because I know that if this case is possibly true as related to the wrongful termination, as related to possible sexual harassment, she definitely would have won that case back in 2010 because it would be a lot easier to prove unwanted advances back in 2010 because of the time that this alleged incident happened, and it would be a lot easier to get a jury to believe that something happened at the time in 2010 due to her going out here and taking action immediately as related to this alleged assault, that took place back in 2010. However, this woman waiting until 2023 is where I start to have some credibility issues as related to believing that this alleged assault took place, because her waiting 13 years to file a civil lawsuit seems to be quite suspect, and to wait 13 years as related to an alleged sex crime and looking to file a civil lawsuit before filing a criminal lawsuit really looks like something quite suspect to me as related to this allegation. Because if a man participated in an alleged sex crime like this woman is alleging, I would think that that woman would really want to get that man off the street as soon as possible in order to prevent another woman from suffering what she encountered. And I know some people will say, oh, Vin Diesel is an actor and is a big wheel, but that argument falls completely apart, because when it comes to Vin Diesel, he is not a big wheel in Hollywood. He's no A-list star, and even if he was an A-list star, he still would have to follow the laws of this country, because bigger celebrities than Vin Diesel have been taken to trial as related to these kinds of crimes. Men like O.J. Simpson and Mike Tyson were taken to trial on more serious charges of violence against women. So when I hear people say, oh, it might have been because she was scared that Vin Diesel was a big star. No, Vin Diesel was basically a B-list player when he was doing Fast and the Furious. And by even around Fast 5, he was still a B-list player as related to acting, and nobody that important. So this woman could have easily taken this man to court, in criminal court, to deal with these criminal charges, and also gotten a civil judgment for wrongful termination, because if the case was a termination due to alleged sexual harassment, this could have been an easy case to win, because again, as related to sexual harassment, it's he said, she said, and usually the courts will go along what she says. But to wait this long has me questioning the credibility of this allegation, because I don't think that she's suing Vin Diesel as related to this alleged crime or the alleged termination, because it's been over a decade, and she's possibly only looking to file a lawsuit because she sees all of the lawsuits filed as related to the Adult Survivors Act in New York and California, and also sees that many of these lawsuits get paid out not by the performer like Vin Diesel, but get paid out by production companies. Now, with many entertainers, what they will do is form a corporation or an LLC to go out here and manage their business assets. And as they form that corporation and LLC to manage their business assets, they also take out insurance. And as they take out insurance to protect themselves from lawsuits, what happens is that these lawsuits filed against their production company automatically trigger an insurance company to look to go out here and settle with the individual filing the lawsuit, making the allegation. Now, the insurance company wants to go out here and settle the lawsuit quickly because they don't want to see the brand of their performer winding up damaged, and they also look to settle lawsuits because they see it as a way to mitigate costs rather than taking a case to trial. So this is what happened in the case of Bill Cosby as related to the allegations of assault against him. And with the allegations of assault against Bill Cosby, what the insurance companies did was go out here and settle the case against his will. And that's what these women like this one are hoping will happen as related to their case, and the cases as related to the lawsuits against performers like Diddy and Jamie Foxx and many others. They're hoping that the insurance company will step in and settle the lawsuit, and they will be able to get a possible low to high 6-figure or 7-figure lawsuit, and the entertainer can go on with their business. This is what they are hoping to get out of the entire deal here, I believe, with Vin Diesel. I believe what they're looking to do is get this settlement from Vin Diesel, and looking to hope that the insurance companies will trigger a settlement, and they will be able to get that settlement at Vin Diesel's expense of his name and reputation. And this is what they're trying to do, because when I look at this entire case, I mean, to wait 13 years as related to a criminal sex act, I mean, I would think, again, your goal would be to get this man off the street rather than look for a cash settlement almost 13 years later, because in 13 years after being terminated for a job wrongfully, I have to, any lawyer's going to ask, what was this woman doing for the last 13 years since she was terminated from this job? Because if she can prove that she was able to work in that 13 years, that's going to really minimize the whole narrative as related to trauma, as related to this incident. And the entire whole case may wind up falling apart if this case were actually taken to trial. And with all of these settlements basically coming out, costing insurance companies money as related to entertainers, I believe that there may be a pivot for these insurance companies in the future. Now, the Me Too movement made it where a man basically has to deal with this whole narrative of trust and believe being the law of the land, where a woman makes an allegation and says that since she said it, it's true. However, with insurance companies continuing to lose money on cases like Cosby's and the many like Diddy and many others coming along, I believe that insurance companies are going to start looking to start taking these cases to trial. And I believe they're going to look to start taking these cases to trial because insurance companies just do not like to lose money. And since insurance companies do not like to lose money, what they will do is go out and start looking to start challenging these allegations, because they don't want to continue losing millions of dollars as related to the compounding of all of these settlements from all of these women. And what they will do is start saying, hey, we're not going to lose any more money. What we're going to do is start taking these cases to trial and start challenging the credibility of these allegations. And as they do this, what's going to happen is we're going to see a lot of these lawsuits possibly getting dismissed in the future. And we may start seeing them get dismissed in the future because, again, we're here on the preponderance of the evidence. And with us being here on the preponderance of the evidence, what will happen is that since these women say that this case happened 10, 15 years ago, there is no hard evidence to substantiate anything. And the sobbing woman on the witness stand will become something people will become indifferent to. And as they become indifferent to the sobbing woman on the witness stand, what will happen is we will have judges and juries starting to ask for evidence and starting to ask for evidence as related to these alleged incidents, and also starting to ask for more details as related to this incident. And many lawyers starting to ask the question, why did this person wait so long in order to file this civil lawsuit? Moreover, we will see lawyers starting to ask, why didn't this person file a criminal lawsuit and take this case to criminal court? So I see this whole campaign to circumvent the criminal justice system with allegations in an effort to go out here and make a crash grab start to fall apart soon, because many of these insurance companies are going to start taking their lawyers and having them do things like investigations, and then also having their lawyers also start asking hard questions. And this is going to make many of these cases start to fall completely apart because, again, insurance companies don't like to lose money. And when insurance companies start to lose money, that's when they start to adapt to the business. and they start creating business models where they can continue to maintain profits. Now, this whole plan, again, to go after insurance companies for a cash grab is an offshoot of the Me Too movement and the quest to make allegations make into paydays, because women saw Gretchen Carlson get $20 million from Roger Ailes, and after they saw this, their hypergamy kicked in, and now what they want to do is make it into a new revenue stream. But that revenue stream may dry up sooner rather than later, and it may wind up drying up sooner rather than later because, again, I'm going to repeat it for a third or a fourth time, insurance companies don't like losing money. They don't like paying out checks. They don't like paying out settlements. And if taking a case to trial will cost them less than a settlement, what they will do is go out here and take these cases to trial and take the case to trial and get the case dismissed by a judge, which is cheaper to them. So this may be the new trend as related to business. And the other trend as related to business is we may start seeing male actors looking to hire male assistants, because hiring a woman assistant is possibly a road to an allegation of harassment or assault. And since it's a road to a possible allegation of harassment or assault, many male actors may start hiring males as their assistants in production companies to mitigate their liability for a lawsuit. So this entire case may be another door closing for women as men look to protect their assets, their health, their safety, and most importantly, their freedom. Because in this era of Me Too and this era of trust and believe being the standard of law of the land, many men are now looking to protect themselves from these kinds of allegations and looking to protect themselves from these civil lawsuits. And in this hostile, litigious society, what many men are looking to do is protect their assets and their wealth. And what may happen in the future is men cutting off more contact from women who are suffering in the social marketplace as related to dating, since men see it as a liability to approach them and see it as a liability to approach them because an encounter can possibly put their freedom at risk. And with the workplace, you may see men looking not to hire women for sensitive positions like Vin Diesel has as related to him, because an assistant goes everywhere with you. And with an assistant going everywhere with you, you can't afford the liability risk of an individual looking to file a lawsuit against you. And you may see many men going out here, in addition to hiring male assistants, having these assistants sign NDAs or non-disclosure agreements and have the non-disclosure agreement presented as evidence in court to protect themselves. So I see a lot of entertainers adapting in the marketplace as related to dealing with women in the workplace to prevent these kind of situations. And the best way to avoid these kind of situations is to make sure you have more than one person with you, and also try to make sure you have a camera going. And with a guy like Vin Diesel, I would recommend that he go out here and start a YouTube channel or a Rumble channel or an Odyssey channel and post a lot of the video of his encounters on those platforms, so there's video evidence to show where he is at any given time, or live stream stuff so that there's video evidence to show that he's going to be transparent. That's the best way to protect himself from these kinds of cases and these kinds of allegations. If you have social media, use it as a tool to protect yourself by live streaming stuff and live streaming events. This is a way you can protect yourself, along with an NDA and possibly hiring a male assistant. These are ways you can protect yourself from these kinds of lawsuits and protect yourself and your ability to make a living, and also protect your name and your reputation. So when I look at the entire Vin Diesel situation, it is one that I just find to be quite suspect, that this woman waited 13 years, because if this case had happened, wrongful termination would have been easy to be able to deal with in 2010. And it would have been easy to deal with in 2010 because, again, you can easily prove the sexual harassment as related to unwanted and unwarranted advances from an employer. That's easy to prove, and it would be, in a he said, she said situation, very easy to get a settlement. But to wait till 2023 has me looking at this woman with a side eye as related to credibility, and looking at this whole situation as one possible cash grab. I'm saying possible because when I look at the facts, things aren't really adding up, and they're not really adding up from a business situation. But when I look at the previous lawsuit against Bill Cosby and see how the insurance company cashed in a settlement, I'm seeing how this woman is looking for an opportunity to revise history to make herself into a victim. And as she revises history to make herself into a victim, what she wants to do is get that settlement from this insurance company, as the controversy is popular, and hoping to get that controversy into a payday. But I don't see these paydays lasting much longer, because in the world of insurance, they really don't play around when it comes to money. No, when it comes to insurance, insurance companies are serious, and men have to really start getting serious by trying to identify workplace predators and situations that can jam them up. And that's where I advise guys like Vin Diesel and many others to pick up my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, so you can avoid winding up in situations like this. Now, if you want to get your copy of Stop Simping in the Workplace and identify workplace predators that can cost you your job, your money, your reputation, your freedom, or possibly lead to you winding up in a lawsuit that destroys your entire life, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Stop Simping in the Workplace at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you want to pick up many of the other men's issues books on the SJS Direct imprint, you can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format, such as Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, and Misadventures of Captain Save-'em, The Man Crisis, and The Woman Crisis. And you can also find many of my other great fiction books, like those in the ISIS series, Esteem series, John Haynes series, books in the Spinsterella trilogy, my Black sorority novel, The Thetas, and my Black vampire novel, Eternal Night. You can find all of those books in my screenplay books, All About Marilyn and All About Nikki, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you'd like to see me make more videos about the entertainment industry, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle, All About Marilyn. Learn all about the struggles of a faded former teen sitcom star in this absolutely fabulous 5-star screenplay. Get All About Marilyn in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, All About Nikki, a fabulous first season. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meets Clueless in this absolutely fabulous African-American 1990s teen sitcom. Get all 13 episodes of All About Nikki, the fabulous first season, in paperback and e-readers today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.